Namaste and Satnam Yogis. I'm Tracy and this is Yoga Union, where people unite in a quest for wellness of body, mind, and spirit. Whether you're a yoga virgin or a seasoned practitioner, Tracy's Yoga Union has a place for your mat. So let's roll those mats out and get started. Our April flow focus will be on breath awareness. One conscious inhale and exhale is a meditation. We're going to begin in Shavasana and end in Shavasana. So let's make our way onto our backs, allowing the body to settle in, letting everything calm down. The mind, the body relaxing into the mat. And our breath has so much power. It can control our emotions, our response to things. It can speed up or slow down our heart rate. And so we'll work with all different kinds of breath patterns throughout our practice. Starting out with equal part breathing. And I'm going to pick the number of 5. And so the practice here is to inhale to a count of 5 and exhale to a count of 5. Always remembering that our inhales and exhales in yoga are through the nose. Filling up that low belly on the inhale and pulling that belly button back to the spine on the exhale. So let's start that equal parts breathing. I'll count it out for you. So let's take an inhale to the count of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep that equal parts breathing going at your own rate, maybe at your own count. Kind of hard to fill up that low belly with the kitty sitting on it. Here we go, Pancha. All right, I think Pancha's telling us to get started with our practice. So let's take a big stretch from fingertips to toe tips. And as we release that, we'll hug the right knee into our chest. Really pull it in tightly. Keep that left leg engaged, toes flexed, And then let's rotate the ankle of that right foot. Change the direction of that rotation. And then we're going to change where we have our hands. We're going to place them behind that knee. And then we're going to start to inhale and straighten that right leg. Maybe pulling back a bit on those interlaced fingers below the knee there. Really pushing up through the heel, through the sole of the foot. Getting a nice stretch along the back of that right leg. Now change that flex to a point. So try and touch the tips of those toes to the sky, to the ceiling. Really point. Release that. We'll bend the left leg, keeping the sole on the mat while resting that right ankle on that knee. And then take that right hand and somewhere below the knee, push that right knee open, feeling a nice stretch in the right hip. Breathing in, I'm aware I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I'm aware I'm breathing out. Release that stretch. Both knees bent, feet on the ground. We're going to prepare for a nice bridge pose here. So bring the heels as close to the bottom as possible. Arms at our side. Palms can be down or up. Kind of play around with that. And then on an inhale, we'll start to lift the hips, low back, mid back. Usually ending that bridge somewhere at the bottom of the shoulder blades. Now we're going to do some pulses with those knees. So just pulse, squeezing in, pulse, pulse. Really pushing up through the hips, out and up through the heels. Keep that pulse going. Pulse, pulse. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slow release down. Bring the spine all the way back down to the mat. We'll straighten out that right leg, keeping it engaged, toes flex. Really hug tightly. That left knee into the chest. And then work that left ankle with some ankle circles. And then reverse the direction of those circles. And then we'll clasp on behind the knee. And then start to straighten out that left leg. Maybe tugging back a bit. And really reaching for the sky, for the ceiling with the heel. Feeling here a nice stretch on the back of the left leg now. Now let's point those left toes, trying to touch those toes out to the ceiling, up to the sky. Really point, point, release. Bend that right knee, sole on the mat. Place that left ankle on the right knee. Now use that left hand somewhere below the knee to just give a nice press open of that left hip. I'm totally alert. I am totally aware. And I am in control on all levels. foot down to the mat, keeping both knees bent, both soles on the mat. Preparing for another round of bridge and those pulses here. So on an inhale, begin to tilt and lift hips, low back, mid back, rounding out that bridge. And then begin those pulses with the knees really pushing up through the hips, pushing into the heels. Nice pulse, 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 pulse. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slow release down, bringing that spine back to the mat. And bring the soles of our feet together for reclined butterfly. Let's bring both palms to our low belly. So now we'll use a breathing technique to speed up our heart rate and get us ready for the more vigorous part of our flow. So we started out with that equal parts breathing. Now we're going to do a 2-to-1 ratio. And to speed up the heart rate, you want to have a longer inhale and a shorter exhale. So we'll inhale to the count of 2, exhale 1, inhale to the count of 3, exhale 2, all the way up to an inhale to the count of 8, and exhale to 7. I'll count it out for you. Here we go. Inhale 1, 2, exhale 1, inhale 1, 2, 3, exhale 1, 2, inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, exhale 1, 2, 3, inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. On our next inhale, let's stretch out one more time from fingertips to toe tips. Roll on over to one side, pushing on up to any kind of seated position that's comfortable for you. Resting our palms just gently on those knees. Do a few neck circles here, half moons with the neck. So tilt the chin down. Bring it back up to center. Now let's tilt that right ear to the right shoulder. Roll that chin to center. Now roll that left ear to the left shoulder. Roll the chin to center. Now right ear to right shoulder. Keep those neck rolls going. Straighten out through that spine. Now let's start to incorporate some breath here. So inhale that chin to center. Exhale, ear over to shoulder. Inhale, chin to center. Exhale, ear to shoulder. Inhale, chin to center. Exhale, ear to shoulder. Inhale, center. Exhale. Last inhale to center. Exhale. Bring that head back up to neutral. Straighten out through that spine. Let's come to a straddle. Doesn't have to be a wide straddle. Just make sure that wherever you are, that the backs of your legs are touching the mat, touching the floor. Let's bring our hands behind and kind of tilt that pelvis forward. Keeping that tilt, keeping those arms behind us. Let's just start to hinge very slightly forward. Just a little forward stretch here. Again, breathing in. I'm aware I'm breathing in. Breathing out. I'm aware I'm breathing out. Inhale to center. Let's come onto all fours for some cat-cow. Making sure to line up wrists and shoulders, knees and hips. And we begin here with our inhale to lift the chin and drop that low belly. That exhale rounds that mid-back and tucks the chin. Inhale to lift and drop. Exhale, round, tuck. Check to see, are the tops of the feet really pressing into the mat? How about those palms really pressing in? No bend in those elbows. Inhale, lift and drop. Exhale as we tuck and round. Bring that spine back to neutral. We'll work the core just a bit. So keep the left hand really planted. The elbow nice and straight. Tops of the feet planted well on that mat. We're going to bend the right elbow. Bring the right hand behind our head. And on an inhale, we'll lift that elbow. Exhale, bring that bent arm back to parallel. Inhale, a little lift. Exhale, back to parallel. One more inhale to lift. And exhale, back to parallel. Plant that right hand nice and firm. Reestablish the connection with the tops of those feet there. No bend in that right elbow. We'll bend the left elbow, place that hand behind our head. Inhale to lift. Exhale, bring that bent arm back to neutral or parallel. Inhale, little lift. Exhale, back to parallel. One more inhale, lift. And exhale to parallel. Drop that hand. Widen those knees. I like to cross at the ankles as I push back into a wide-legged child's pose. We'll keep those arms outstretched. Really feeling the inhale as you breathe through the nose and fill up that low belly. And that exhale also through the nose, emptying out that belly, pulling that belly button back to the spine. Coming almost up to our tabletop, but staying on our forearms. Walk those out a bit, straighten out those legs. Let's see if we can find our Sphinx pose. So our forearms are on the mat, elbows and shoulders making a nice straight line. Opening up the heart, almost dragging those elbows back. And then that neck, if you feel like you have some creases there, lower that chin a bit. Breathing in. I'm aware I'm breathing in. I'm breathing out. I'm aware I'm breathing out. Next exhale. Release that Sphinx pose. Tuck those toes. And we'll push back into our first downward dog. Really stretching out through nice long arms, long spine. Tilting that tail up. And then we'll start to walk hands and feet together. Once there, grab onto opposite elbows and just hang and sway in our ragdoll. Release that hold. Start to inhale very slowly. Maybe even dragging those fingertips up the legs to find our mountain pose. Strong, steady mountain. I'm totally alert. I'm totally aware. And I am in control on all levels. So we'll start with some balancing, move into pyramid, and start our flow on this side. So we'll start by balancing in tree pose first on our right leg. So bring some awareness into that right leg. Bend that left knee out to the side, placing the sole of the foot maybe at the calf. Then really hug in through the midline. So do that by pushing in on the right hip or pushing it into the sole of that foot. Find a steady point to gaze at, and then bring those palms to heart center. Breathing as we balance. Step that left foot back there. Woo! Hopefully a little bit more graceful than I did. So the distance in our stance here might be as wide as your legs. You want to imagine that your feet are on railroad tracks, so they're not on a balance beam, but on a railroad track. Going to straighten that front knee, those front toes. are facing the short edge of the mat. Those back toes are a little less than 45 degrees. What we really want to focus on here are our hips. We want to get both hip points facing that right set of toes there. We can bring our hands to our hips, setting up for pyramid pose here. Use that inhale to really straighten the spine. Now on that exhale, keeping those hip points facing forward, we'll hinge halfway. Inhale, really push into those feet to come back up. Exhale, hinge with a nice straight back, keeping that left hip down. Inhale to come on up, really pushing into those feet. Exhale, this time we'll hold. So you can hold with hands on hips. You can bring palms to shin. Just focus on that hip. Trying to keep those hip points down instead of that hip lifting up. Back and spine are straight. Chin is neutral. Pyramid pose. Release those hands down to frame that foot. I'm going to step that back foot so that we can find our runner's lunge. So our right knee and ankle are in alignment. Back leg is outstretched. Place that left hand on the mat. Lift up through those right fingertips for a nice runner's lunge twist. Exhale that hand down. You can release that back knee down. Keep the toes tucked or flatten them out. In this low lunge, we're going to lift up through arrow straight arms for crescent low lunge. And instead of really sinking in here, try and pull in through that midline. Exhale, rain those arms down. Those back toes are tucked. So we can come to our plank here. We'll hold the plank for an inhale. Exhale. Then lower down to those knees. And all the way down to the belly, preparing for cobra. We inhale, head, neck, chest, and shoulders into that cobra. Tuck your toes. Push back into that dog again. And use this dog to rest, to stretch. Nice straight arms, lifting up through the tail, creating length in the spine, tucking in that low belly, bringing it up. And then we'll walk those hands and feet together. And we'll hang in our ragdoll, grabbing onto opposite elbows and swaying again from side to side. Release that hold. And on an inhale, very slowly, even dragging those fingertips up the tops of the legs to find our mountain pose. Mountain. Strong, steady, stable. Breathing in. I'm aware I'm breathing in. I'm breathing out. I'm aware I'm breathing out. And we'll repeat that flow on this side, starting out with our tree. Balancing this time on the left leg. So bring more awareness into that left leg. As we bend that right knee out, maybe placing the sole on the calf. And then push that left hip into that right foot. Find something to gaze at. And then bring those palms to heart center. Remembering to breathe as we balance. One conscious inhale and exhale is a meditation. The important part is to be conscious, to be aware of each breath. You can release those hands down. We'll do this one a little bit more gracefully. Step that right foot back. So good distance, maybe the width of our leg. And then again, we're not on a balance beam here, but more like we're on some train tracks with each foot. Front toes pointing forward, back toes a little less than 45. And again, those hips. So getting that right hip to turn and face the left toes. Hands on our hips. Inhale to straighten that spine. Exhale, hinging halfway forward. Nice straight spine. Exhale, really push into those feet to lift. Exhale, halfway. Inhale, lift. Exhale as we hold our pyramid pose this time. And keep those hands on our hips. Or bring them down to the shin. Again, focusing on this hip here. We don't want it lifting up, but pointing down. Straight spine. Exhale, release those hands down. And step out into our low runner's lunge here, or runner's lunge rather. So left knee and ankle are in alignment. Back leg nice and straight. We'll plant our right hand. Lift up through those left fingertips. The runner's lunge twist. Exhale that hand down, plant that back knee, and keep those toes tucked. Then we're going to lift up through arrow, straight arms for crescent low lunge. And again, instead of sinking into that hip, let's think of coming in, so pulling in there. Arrow, straight arms. Low crescent lunge. Bring those hands down to frame that foot. Step that front foot back. Let's take a deep inhale and exhale here in this plank. Lower the knees down. And the rest of the body to prepare for cobra. Inhaling head, neck, chest, and shoulders into that cobra. As you exhale, release that cobra down. Tuck the toes, widen those knees, cross at the ankles if you like, and push back into that child's pose. And keep your hands outstretched, or this time bring them alongside your body. Starting to slow things down here. Two more postures. Let's do a little twisting first, bringing those feet straight out in front of us. We'll hug that right knee into our chest, and then you can cross that right foot over. Grab onto that right knee with your left hand, and then take that right arm back behind you, turning head, chin, eyes, to complete that twist. Use that inhale to straighten the spine, and that exhale to move even deeper into our twist. Inhale, coming back to center as we release and switch legs. Left knee bent, cross it over. Grab onto that left knee with the right hand and bring that left behind us. Completing the twist by turning the chin and the eyes to look over that back shoulder. Again, imagine on that inhale, the spine straightens. Exhale, moves us deeper into the twist. Inhale to release and come to center. Let's finish with diamond pose. Bringing the soles of our feet together and quite a bit further out from our pelvis. We're gonna loop our hands underneath there, maybe grab on the tops of our feet, and then use that hold to kind of hinge and pull you forward. Also, your arms can work as a bit of a prop there to give some support to those legs in the diamond shape. Back is rounded. You can let that head be heavy and drop. Inhale, release. And actually, let's finish with one last set of stretching, some eagle arms. So sit in any way that's comfortable right now. Most important, keep that spine nice and straight. So let's stretch those arms out. Bring the right on top of the left. Bend at those elbows, bringing those palms together. And here we really want to lift up through the elbows. Relax the shoulders, push out through those hands. And then we can tuck that chin, let it rest there. Really lifting through the elbows. Exhale, release. Arms back to center. Left on top, bend those elbows, bring palms together. Lift up through those elbows, push out through those hands, relax the shoulders down, and then just drop that chin. Exhale, release those arms. And like we said at the start, we'll finish how we started on our backs in Shavasana. And as you move into our final relaxation, take up as much real estate here on your mat as is needed and as is comfortable. We're going to try one more breath pattern here now to help slow the heart rate down. So to speed the heart rate up, we want to have longer inhales and shorter exhales. And so to slow it down, the opposite would make sense. We want to increase the length of the exhale. So we'll try 4, 7, 8 breathing. So we'll inhale to a count of 4. We'll hold our breath for 7. And then we'll exhale to that count of 8. So I'll count that out for you a few times as we begin Shavasana. Here we go. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Continue that breath pattern. If you like it, let it go. If you don't, either way, Shavasana. Quiet body, quiet mind. Start to wiggle fingers and toe tips. Maybe a full body stretch from fingertips to toe tips would feel good. And gently roll to one side as you push yourself up. Seated. Bringing palms to heart center. Namaste. Thanks for joining Tracy's Yoga Union.